Hey there, train fans. Welcome back to Other Side of the Tracks. I am Chris. Behind me is a box I got off of the old eBay, and it's yet another Menards building. I've been a great fan of these buildings with their attention to detail, their reasonable price, and voluminous illumination. So this was one that came out a few years ago, and it's no longer available, which is why I had to get it off the secondhand market. So let's go ahead, open up this box behind me, and check it out, and then we'll play a game of let's see where I can cram it on the layout.
So when I purchased this item, I knew that it had the original plastic packaging, but I did not know that it came with the shipper box as well, which I was very happy to see when it arrived on my front porch. So here we can see a photo of the building, the Morton Salt Factory, and we have our details here. Over 30 LED lights, including 4 LED yard lights, 5 strips of LED lights, 26 lights total, and 2 red blinking lights. 2 electronic Morton Salt signs with multiple light patterns. Office with lit interior and frosted windows. Features catwalks, railing, stairs, ladders, ventilation systems, and water tower. Accessories include 6 workers, 4 bushes, a tree, and Jack the German Shepherd, of course. And naturally, we need power for it, the 4.5 volt power source, sold separately. And here we see that Menards manufactured 990 of these Morton Salt factories, and this is box 900. Now this letter or number looks a little confusing. That looks like an 8 or a 9. This side clearly says 900 out of 990. Okay, well, that's the packaging on the outside. So we're going to go ahead, open this up, take it out, and cross our fingers that it survived shipment okay. So luckily for me, a lot of these Menard buildings are very space-saving in that they feature tunnels so that they can go right over your main line or siding. So you can get a nice large building with a relatively minor footprint. And since I don't have a basement here in Texas like I used to in Pennsylvania, that is a lot of help since I'm more limited on available room size. Okay. So far, it looks like it survived in one piece. All right, first impressions. Wow, it survived. I don't see any damage on it. And of course, this is the back side showing the office here. And yeah, it's actually pretty big in size. I was surprised actually how large this building actually is. I was wondering if it'd be more like the city's coal topple over there. But nope, it's pretty big. Lots of ladders, walkways. On this side we see Jack the German Shepherd. We have our workers lounging around here. Water tower, our faux grass. Got our shrubs, tree. Beautiful Morton Salt signage. Other signage throughout the building. Solid base, so track will go on top of that, but got plenty of clearance there. 18 feet. Scale size, I suppose. That looks pretty sweet. Well, I think we'll have to give it some power, see if it lights up. Looking a little closely, I see some little areas where the railings had been damaged. It looks like they were glued back together, but not too horrible. Another break right there. This one's not glued, but it's holding together. Just basically painted cardboard, these side railings here, so you got to be very careful with them. Alright, I actually had to steal the power source for my J. Shepherd and Sons dog food factory. I have more cables on order from Menards. Should get them in tomorrow, actually, but I didn't want to wait another day to film this. Well, let's see if this thing lights up and check out the effect. Yes. Nice. Love that rain and pouring salt. Very classic logo of Morton. Well, with our workers, we do have two here engaging in conversation and actually one working. You see the illumination of these frosted windows of the office. We have lighting strips all over the place. Very bright building. And in the tunnel, we see we have illumination there as well. So any gondolas or other rolling stock items that are under this plant will be nicely illuminated. There's even signage in the tunnel reading, "Watch for trains." On this uppermost level, this door has a frosted window and has some illumination inside. That's pretty cool. And this worker looks like he's engaged in deep thought. Alright, roof shot. We got our little safety lights here, some piping. And we got this little elevator going on for the materials. Very reminiscent of the more recent Sudi's coal tipple here with this coal elevator. Yep, Morton Salt, definitely a lot bigger. So, yeah. I have to find a home for this. Somewhere. Alright, let's see how this thing measures in. So, depth-wise, about 10.5 inches. Width, 12 inches. Now height, about 15 inches in height. So definitely has a good size to it. For a side-by-side comparison, I have Morton Salt Factory next to the Sudi's coal tipple. We see Morton Salt much higher, much wider, and greater in depth as well. Much bigger building. And this tunnel being right smack in the middle here, more or less, you're going to need some space between this building and any other track you have. Sudi's coal tip, on the other hand, on this back side was very narrow, so it squeezed in between my two main lines quite easily. But Morton Salt's going to be a little too wide here to snuggle in next to cities or anywhere else I have with its current layout configuration, unless I go ahead and just use it as a siding building. Remove or relocate my top pizza building, and right now I'm using this awesome crossing as a siding in and of itself. Yeah, but even then, this corner is probably still too small to fit that building. Well, I do also have this corner here, which I've kind of been using as my workbench and box opening area. So I've really been loath to put anything in this area specifically. but I might shove that there and see if I can work around it. Well, after some contemplation, I decided to go ahead and make a new siding inside my innermost loop. So I moved one building to outside the loops, which was the little Pennsylvania Railroad ticket office. Wasn't doing really much over there anyway. And, well, I don't know if that would be the final spot for that building. I will, of course, have to get a switch track sometime to actually connect it so it looks a little more realistic. But at least for now, that'll kind of give us a little home for it. Yeah, I was just very hesitant to give up my little workspace area here on that front corner of the layout. So we'll have to work in a switch over here on the inside loop for that siding. And of course we need a switch here for the dog food factory. I did forget to mention there's a switch here right next to the power supply input where if you switch that, the safety lights on top and the Morton Salt logos will go just solid instead of the blinking of the lights on top and the whole sequence of the signage. So whatever's one's preference, I think the effect is really cool, so we're gonna leave it in that mode. But overall, this is a really cool looking building. Menards does have a number of factories, so if you have an industrial area, there's lots to choose from. Of course, well, right now we don't have illuminated, but my J. Shepherd and Sons dog food factory here. Coal tipple. We got Vetter Sash and Door Company over there, another really excellent factory building. And they do have other factories available on the website. There's, for example, Gamer and Thrones. They also have a Tide plant, which is somewhat similar to the Morton Salt Factory. But definitely check out Menards on the website. They have over 40 different O-scale buildings to choose from, so a little something for everyone. Now, over the years, Menards has put out some other accessories that go with this Morton Salt Factory. They have a box truck, a smaller pickup truck, which is illuminated, and various rolling stocks, box cars, gondolas. So we'll have to add on to our Morton Salt Factory here to complete it out. So I may continue to move things around here on the layout. Nothing's really permanent. But I guess in my mind, more or less, we got some industry stuff here on the right side. We got our restaurants and entertainment in the center. We have more of the offices in the background and far corner. And we have another industrial area over here on the left side, more or less. We got our passenger stations strewn in here. But yeah, I may continue to move things around and see how things may fit better. See where else I can shoehorn in more buildings. Because, well, as much as I love trains, I love buildings too. So if I see a blank space, well, that's a blank canvas for me to try to do something with, aside from, of course, roads, landscaping, rivers, lakes, stuff like that. But yeah, I've been very happy with the Menards buildings we've had here on the layout, and they continue to accumulate. And if you're keeping count so far in terms of just strictly in Menards buildings, not including any kind of rolling stock or vehicles, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 Menards buildings here on the old layouts. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can squeeze in 1 or 2 more here in the future. And speaking of the future, I hope to see you next time here on the channel. And if you have not already done so, please take a quick moment to give us a like for this video, subscribe to the channel, and you can always support us on Patreon. We really appreciate all the help that you can give us here, and we hope that you have a most wonderful day.